President Trump fights as feckless, cowardly Republicans dawdle. In this video, we're going to take a look at the fight that President Trump promises on our behalf, the awesome number of Republicans that are indeed joining him in the fight, but we're also going to name names of those Republicans that have turned their back on our president and in doing so, turn their back on us, revealing themselves to be the spineless Republican cowards that were the very reason why we voted for President Trump in the first place. I want to get right into it, but first, I'd appreciate you smacking that bell and subscribe button, and let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's our good friends over at BioTrust. You know, with the rapid advances in science over the years, there are much more powerful and effective ways to boost our immune systems than just taking mega doses of vitamin C. In fact, our sponsors over at BioTrust have combined four of the world's best immune-supporting powerhouses, along with that mega dose of vitamin C, into their #1 immunity support product, Ageless Body. Simply put, Ageless Body provides you 5 of the most powerful immune support ingredients available. I take it every day. I love it. And if you click on that link below right now, you can get Ageless Body today at their lowest price ever, with 51% off and free U.S. shipping to boot. So don't wait. Click on that link below or go to my special website, agewithsteveturley.com, and give your immune system an awesome boost today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. President Trump is a fighter. We all know that. He has fought for us for 4 years, and that's why we put him in office. He was the first Republican to get over 300 electoral votes back in 2016 in 30 years. He won 2016 an absolute blowout precisely because he promised to fight for us like Romney, McCain, and Paul Ryan never would. And now with the Democrats blatantly trying to steal this election, where, get this, as the amazing poll analyst Rich Barris over at the People's Pundit put it, Biden underperformed Hillary Clinton in every major metro area around the nation, for the exception of, well, what do you know, Milwaukee, Detroit, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. How about that, man? It isn't coincidence just something else. So now that we're seeing the Democrats actively attempting to steal an election right before our very eyes, right? They picked the wrong Republican candidate to try to steal it from. Just today, President Trump is vowing to use every aspect of the law to fight against the corrupt Democrat establishment. And what we'll find is that there are plenty of Republicans in the establishment, who are also trying to steal this election. President Trump just released this statement to the American people, quote, "We believe the American people deserve to have full transparency into all vote counting and election certification, and that this is no longer about any single election. This is about the integrity of our entire election process. From the beginning, we have said that all legal ballots must be counted and all illegal ballots should not be counted. Yet we have met resistance to this basic principle by Democrats at every turn. We will pursue this process through at every aspect of the law to guarantee that the American people have confidence in their government. I will never give up fighting for you and our nation." That's why he is president. That's why we elected him twice. And Trump seems to be lighting a fire in a number of other Republicans. I'm very happy to see Lindsey Graham stepping up to the plate here. Graham has announced that he's donating $500,000 to the Trump campaign's legal efforts to stop this corruption of our election process, and that he believes that what's going on with the ballot dumps at 4:30 a.m. is so obviously fraudulent that it should be overturned in court. In fact, Graham has said openly that everything should be on the table, including Republican legislatures invalidating these corrupt election results if the courts don't, in order to award their electoral votes to Trump. So good for Lindsey Graham standing up to the president. Kevin McCarthy, the GOP leader in the House, is calling for full transparency, accuracy, and the protection of all legal votes. Senator Ted Cruz is standing up with Trump and excoriating Democrats for barring Republican election observers from being able to oversee the count. And the left-wing rag, right, the Dallas News actually put as their headline, "Ted Cruz backs Trump's false claim that Philadelphia election observers are being denied access to count," which is itself fake news, because that's precisely what is happening. It's being widely reported. We actually have video on it, that Corey Lewandowski and Trump's legal team are not being allowed access to observing the vote counting. In fact, I don't believe a single Republican is overseeing Philadelphia vote counting as we speak. Utah's Attorney General has stepped down. He's taking a personal leave from his duties as Attorney General to help President Trump's fight, saying that from what he sees, the integrity of this election was clearly compromised. So this is great to see. It's awesome to see these Republicans stepping up here. But unfortunately, we're waiting for about 1,000 more, right? This is a nice start. But we literally have thousands and thousands of Republicans across the nation who have yet to step up and overwhelmingly voice their protest over this blatant election tampering and indeed their intent to see that it does not prevail. And unfortunately, even after 4 years of Trump, there seems to be a number of gutless and cowardly and feckless Republicans still in power. But first, make sure you download our free gift for you by clicking on the link below. It's called our Fake News Antidote. It's a compilation of about 20 sites that I go to for my news each and every day, all conservative, all celebrating Trump and nationalist populism. And look, we need these news sources now more than ever. And you can download your own copy of our Fake News Antidote completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section. And you have a ready list of your go-to sites that you will definitely enjoy and will inspire you throughout this whole legal process we're about to face. It's absolutely free for you by clicking on the link below, my gift to you. All right, so perhaps the single most ridiculous Republican to turn his back on Trump, and by extension on us, is Pat Toomey. He is now the utterly disgraced anti-Trump Republican senator from Pennsylvania. He's not seeking re-election in a couple of years from now because there's no way he would win the primary. Look at what this so-called Republican said. I saw the president's speech last night. It was very hard to watch. The president's allegations of large-scale fraud and theft of the election are just not substantiated. I'm not aware of any significant wrongdoing here. And of course, he's saying all this in an interview with the Today Show at NBC. Pat Toomey is the kind of Republican that has more in common with the corporatist, globalist leftists at NBC than he does with us or with Donald Trump. The president's allegation of large-scale fraud and theft of an election, well, that's just so sad to hear. It's so sad that he would make such unsubstantiated allegations. Right, Toomey, right. It just happens to be the case that of the 27 elections where one of the candidates won both Florida and Ohio, the only other time that candidate didn't win the presidency was in 1960, when John Kennedy stole the election by 100,000 votes. Right, yeah, we get it. And forget the fact that you have, by the way, a registered Democrat poll observer actually coming out disillusioned and upset, saying he's witnessing nothing less than a coup in Philadelphia. Equally disappointing is the Pennsylvania Senate Majority Leader Jake Corman, who just hours ago held a video conference claiming he has absolutely no knowledge of any corruption or wrongdoing in the election process there in Pennsylvania. He was echoed by two Republican state legislators who made it clear, well, we're not getting involved in all this. Why would we? That would interrupt our business model. Then you have former South Carolina governor and on and off anti-Trumper Nikki Haley tweeting out if she was at a funeral, "We all owe real Donald Trump for his leadership of conservative victories for Senate, House, and state legislatures. He and the American people deserve transparency and fairness as the votes are counted, and the law must be followed, and we have to keep the faith that the truth will prevail." Congressman Matt Gaetz ripped her to shreds. I think he spoke on behalf of all of us when he tweeted in response, while some of us are fighting for the president, Nikki Haley is eulogizing him. So sad. Well said. She's so absolutely despicable. But the king of them all, I have to say, has got to be the one and only Mitt Romney, the darling of the left-wing media, who said that Trump was wrong to say that the election was rigged and corrupt and stolen. Doing so damages the cause of freedom here and around the world, weakens the institutions that lie at the foundation of the republic, and recklessly inflames destructive and dangerous passions. Don't you just love these kinds of Republicans who are more outraged by the president's comments and more concerned about the future freedom when it comes to Trump's comments rather than actual blatant corruption. They're more concerned about comments than corruption. Everything that happened at 4:30 a.m. in the morning during Election Day, all hunky-dory. Nothing to see here. But those comments were way beyond the pale. What a bunch of feckless phonies. President Trump is going to need as many Republican allies as he can in this fight. He fought for us for 4 years. Now it's time for us to fight for him. I'm very glad to see a number of Republicans that are standing up for him. But I'm frankly not surprised in the least at the gutless and spineless excuses for Republicans that long ago turned their backs on him and on us. Let's not forget that the next election, shall we? Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video. I just put it up on why Trump will triumph in Pennsylvania and win the election. There is a fascinating argument that's coming out among his lawyers and some pundits. You're really going to like this one. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.